Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you all for joining. Hare Krishna. Let's start with Kirtan. Om Ajnanatimiraandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथस्वामी इति नामिने नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशिताचिने जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे हरे जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपदा गीता गौर हरि 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 Krishna, Pranam. Thank you all for joining. So we are on chapter 7 of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Leela, and we have been reading about Lord Chaitanya's interactions with Vallabh Bhatta and what what his desire is when he meets Mahaprabhu, what he expresses, all that we are going to hear, and then how Mahaprabhu tackles the pride that Vallabh Bhatt has. We are going to read about that too. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most merciful incarnation, and he came to liberate everyone, to give everyone the love of Krishna, and सबके तारण के लिए, like it said, he had come. But if there is pride in someone's heart, then they are not willing to accept Krishna's mercy, Krishna's name, right? So Mahaprabhu, that's why he removes, from time to time we see in his pastimes that from time to time he removes the pride of devotees too. So Vallabh Bhatt's case also something similar happens. So we'll read more details in the section today. So let's start. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा, जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा। श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय, श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। So in verse 80, we had read how when the Rath Yatra festival was over, then Vallabh Bhatt goes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's place, his abode, and he submits a request. So the actual reason why he had come, he wants to fulfill that desire now. So we'll read from 81 onwards. So Swati Mataji, you can read 81 to 85, please.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Bhagavate Tika.
Yeah, Mataji, we're not able to hear you. Hare Krishna.
Kindly hear it. प्रभु का है भागवतार्थ भूजी तेना पारी भागवतार्थ सुनीते आमी नहीं अधिकारी. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Sripad ki jai. The Lord replied, I do not understand the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Indeed, I am not suitable person to hear its meaning. Should I continue, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, till 85.
वासी कृष्ण नाम मात्र कार्य ग्रहणे सांख्य नाम पूर्ण मोरा न हे रात्रि धीने. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I simply sit and try to chant the holy name of Krishna, and although I chant all day and night, I nevertheless cannot complete the chanting of my prescribed number of rounds. भट्टा का हे कृष्णा नामेरा अर्थ व्याख्याने विस्तार कैराचितः करः श्रवणे. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vallabha Bhatta said, I have tried to describe elaborately the meaning of Krishna's holy name. Kindly hear the explanation. प्रभु का हे कृष्णा नामेरा बहु अर्थ न मानी श्याम सुंदर यशोदा नंदना ये मात्र जाने. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, I do not accept many different meanings for the holy name of Krishna. I know only that Krishna is Shyama Sundara and Yashodanandana. That's all I know. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So Vallabh Bhatt approaches Lord Chaitanya and he tells Lord Chaitanya that I have written a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, and he asks Lord Chaitanya, he actually wants Lord Chaitanya to read it, but Lord Chaitanya says that I do not understand the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. See, Lord Chaitanya is the Paramatma. He knows the pride in Vallabh Bhatta's heart, right? So he does not want to encourage that pride. He does not want to encourage Vallabh Bhatta further because the Lord knows everything. And in the previous section also, we have read that the Lord himself was quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam, so many verses. But still, he's saying that he cannot understand Srimad Bhagavatam, and he says that I am not a suitable first person to read any commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, and I just sit and chant my number of rounds. And although I'm chanting day and night, I'm still not able to complete my prescribed number of rounds. And Vallabh Bhatta is now trying to convince Mahaprabhu that, okay, you're talking about chanting, then the name of Krishna, the same name of Krishna that you are chanting, I have tried to give the meaning elaborately of that name of Krishna. So please, at least now you hear. So he's trying to convince Mahaprabhu that I have described the same name of Krishna that you are taking. But Mahaprabhu says that I have no desire to understand any different meanings of the name of Lord Krishna. I have understood the essence of all scriptures, and the names Shyam Sundar and Yashodanandan. These two names I know and I like. So I know only that Lord Krishna is Shyam Sundar and Yashodanandan. That's all I know. Beyond this, I have no desire to understand any other names of Krishna also. Okay. Yeah. Next, Gandhimati Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Mataji. Text 85. Tamala Shyamala Pisi Sri Yashoda Sthanam Taye Krishna Namne Rudirtiti Sarva Sastra Vinirnayaka. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The only purport of the holy name of Krishna is that he is dark blue like a tamala tree and is the son of Mother Yashoda. This is the conclusion of all revealed scriptures. Purport. This is a verse from the Namakaumati. Text 87. Yei arta ami matra janiye niddara Hara sarvahate mora nahi adhikara. Translation. I conclusively know these two names, Shyama Sundara and the Yashoda Nandana. I do not understand any other meaning, nor have high capacity to understand them. Text 88. Falgu praya patera namadi sabhavyakya sarvajnana Prabhu Jnani Tare Karena Upeksha. Translation. Being omniscient Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could understand that Vallabha Bhatta's explanation of Krishna's name and Srimad Bhagavatam were useless, therefore he did not care about them. Text 89. Vimanahana Bhatta Gele Nijagara Prabhu Vishaye Bhakti Kichu Hailan Antara. Translation. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rigidly declined to hear his explanations, Vallabha Bhatta went to home feeling morose. His faith in the Lord and devotion of him changed. Text 90. Tabe patta gele pandita gosha niratani Nama mate priti kari kare ashayayi. Translation. Thereafter, Vallabha Bhatta went to the home of Gadadhara Pandita. He kept coming and going, showing affection in various ways and thus maintained a relationship with him. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So Mahaprabhu is really adamant that he does not want to hear any commentary. He does not want to hear any explanations of any other explanations of Krishna's names. And he's saying that the only purport of the holy name of Krishna is that he is dark blue like a tamal tree and is the son of Mother Yashoda. And that is the conclusion of all revealed scriptures. So Mahaprabhu quotes this verse from Namakaumati, further, stressing that he's not interested in any other kind of understanding. And he again says the same thing, that Shyam Sundar and Yashoda Nandan. I conclusively know these two names and I do not understand any other meanings. And he says that I do not even have the capacity to understand anything else. Because Mahaprabhu knows everything. So he understands that Vallabha Bhatta's explanations of Srimad Bhagavatam are going to be useless because he's written it out of pride. And we'll know further, there is one more reason why Mahaprabhu is very much against that. That section is going to come later today. But Mahaprabhu, all in all, he does not want to hear anything about that commentary. So he does not care about them. And he's so rigid and he declines so rigidly that Vallabh Bhatt feels very morose. And because of this incident, because of this interaction with Mahaprabhu, now his devotion and his faith in Mahaprabhu has changed because Mahaprabhu did not hear his commentary and declined it very strongly. So then what he does is that he goes to Gadadhar Pandit because he knows that Mahaprabhu used to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. So he goes first and he makes friendship with Gadadhar Pandit. Okay. Yeah. Now let's go forward. 91 onwards. Sudha Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी प्रणाम.
Hare Krishna Pranam.
प्रभुर उपेक्षया सब नीला चलेर जना Bhattera Vyakhyayana Kichu Nakare Shravana. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not take Vallabha Bhatta very seriously, none of the people in Jagannath Puri would hear any of his explanations. Lajjita haila bhatta haila apamane dukita haya gela panditera sthane. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ashamed, insulted and unhappy, Vallabha Bhatta went to Gadadhar Pandita. Text 93. धैन्य करी कहे नीलून तुम्हारा शरणा तुम्ही कृपा करी राखा आमारा जीवना. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Approaching him with great humility, Vallabha Bhatta said, I have taken shelter of you, my dear sir. Kindly be merciful to me and save my life. Text 94. Krishna Nama Vyakhyaya Yadi Yadi Karah Shravana Tabe Mora Lajja Panka Haya Prakshalana. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Please hear my explanation of the meaning of Lord Krishna's name. In that way, the mud of the shame that has come upon me will be washed off. Text 95. Sankate padila pandita कराये संशया की करी भेना एको करी ते ना पारे निश्चया. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thus Pandita Gosani fell into a dilemma. He was in such doubt that he could not decide alone what to do. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not take Vallabha Bhatta very seriously. Therefore, Pandita Gosai or Gadadhar Gosai fell into perplexity. What would be his position if he heard Vallabha Bhatta's explanation of Sri Krishna's name? Certainly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would be displeased. Therefore, Gadadhar Pandita Goswami could not make a decision. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So in this section, we are reading that how things were in Puri at that time. If Mahaprabhu did not take anyone seriously, if Mahaprabhu did not hear from anyone, then nobody in Puri would hear from that person. So that's why none of the people in Jagannath Puri would hear the explanations of Vallabhat. Now he has written this whole commentary and he's really proud of it, and he wants everyone to hear, read, and appreciate, but nobody is giving any importance to him. So that's why he makes friendship with Gadadhar Pandit, and he feels very ashamed and unhappy because he's embarrassed. Nobody is hearing him. So then he tells Gadadhar Pandit that I have now taken shelter of you. You at least be merciful, save my life, and because he says that in that way the mud of the shame that has come upon me will be washed off if you hear the commentary. So he says that I have this mud of shame on me, and that can be washed off if you hear the commentary that I have written. But now this is a matter of dilemma for Gadadhar Pandit, because he is so devoted to Lord Chaitanya, completely devoted to Lord Chaitanya. Now, how can he hear something which Mahaprabhu has so strongly declined to hear? So he is in a doubt because Vallabhata is a Brahman. So he does not want to insult a Brahman also. But on the other hand, he does not want to disobey or disagree with what Mahaprabhu has done. So he's thinking that what will be my position if I hear Vallabhata's explanation? Because Lord Chaitanya has declined to hear it. And that's why if I hear, he will definitely be displeased. So he is in a dilemma. He could not make a decision whether to hear or not to hear the commentary of Vallabhata. Okay. Now let's read 96 to 100. Yeah, Krishnamurti Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी, प्रणाम माताजी.
Ram Prabhu.
यद्यपि पंडितारा न कैला अंगीकारा बट्टाई ताबुपादे करी बलात्कारा. Translation by C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki Jai. Although Gadadhar Pandita Goswami did not want to hear it, Vallabha Bhatta began to read his explanation with great force. Text 97. अभिजात्य पंडिता करीते नारे निषेधन ये संकटे रखा कृष्णाला इला न शरण. Translation basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Because Vallabha Bhatta was a learned Brahmana, Gadadhar Pandit could not forbid him. Thus he began to think of Lord Krishna. My dear Lord Krishna, he requested, please protect me in this danger. I have taken shelter of you. Text 98. अंतर्यामी प्रभु जानी बेनो मोरा मना तानरे भाग्य नहीं किचो विषम तानरे गणा. Translation basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is present in everyone's heart and he will certainly know my mind. Therefore, I do not fear him. His associates, however, are extremely critical. Purport basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exists in everyone's heart. Therefore, you would know the circumstances under which Pandita Goswami agreed to hear Vallabha Bhatta's explanations. And certainly he would not be angry. However, the Vaishnavas who were always with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu might not understand Gadadhara Pandita's inner consciousness and they might accuse him of having compromised with Vallabha Bhatta. Despite his having been neglected by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gadadhara Pandita Goswami was seriously thinking in this way. Text 99. यापि विचारे पंडित रे नहीं किचु दोषा तथापि प्रभु रगणा तांड्रे कारे प्रणय रोषा. Translation basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Although Gadadhara Pandita Goswami was not in the least at fault, some of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees showed affectionate anger toward him. Text 100. प्रत्यय वल्लभ भट्टा ऐसे प्रभु स्थाने उग्रघादि प्राय करे आचार्य दिशाने. Translation basic Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki. Every day Vallabha Bhatta would come to the place of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to engage in unnecessary arguments with Advaita Acharya and other great personalities such as Swarupa Damodara. Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Prabhu Pranam. So in this section, we are reading that he is Gadadhar Pandit obviously did not want to hear the commentary of Vallabh Bhatta, but Vallabh Bhatt forcibly starts to read his explanations with great force. So Gadadhar Pandit, because Vallabh Bhatt is a learned Brahman, so Gadadhar Pandit could not forbid him, he could not forcibly stop him. But in this situation, there is nothing he could do. He was very helpless. So then what does he do? He starts praying to Krishna that please protect me, my dear Lord Krishna, please protect me in this danger. I have taken shelter of you. So Gadadhar Pandit is teaching us by his example that how important it is that we do not hear anything which is not authorized. Right? So if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has not accepted, that means it's not authorized. And now, even though he has to forcibly hear it, but he does not want to, and he's praying to Krishna that this impact that this may have on me, this is a danger. So you please protect me in this danger. So this is something that we also have to understand, that any kind of literature or any lectures or any words that we hear from unauthorized sources, they are a great matter of danger for us because they can really hamper and they can really affect our faith. We may feel that, okay, how does it matter if I just meet someone and I just hear from someone who's not coming in parampara, or some Mayavadi is very famous and he's giving some lecture. What is the harm in just hearing once or twice? Or I know the philosophy, then that will not really affect me. But words are very powerful, and we are seeing here now that even someone as in the advanced position of Gadadhar Pandit, He's also feeling that this can be a danger. So we don't know what they may say, how they may misinterpret the scriptures. Something they may say that may actually bring a doubt in our heart that, okay, yeah, what they are saying does make sense. Because many people these days, the kind of language they use is very nice, it's very polished, and their demeanor and their personality can be very impressive. And we may start feeling that, oh, maybe what this person is saying could actually be true. But I have
Mataji,
heard
not
something
audible.
not audible
Mm.
for
Now
everyone.
you are audible.
Others also were not able to hear me.
No, Mataji, very
No,
clear.
Mataji, we can hear you, Mataji. We can hear you.
Okay, let's continue. So we may think that, okay, well, how just a few, minutes or just a few hours or just one book written by from a person who's not in parampara, it cannot really touch my faith. But we don't know how it can create a doubt in our mind, and then we start doubting everything. So it is very, very risky. That's why our seniors, our acharyas, Prabhupada, they have given us so much literature already. There are so many lectures, there are so many books already. Why do we have to go and hear something or read something that is not in parampara? Not at all required. We should be very, very careful to avoid all these kind of things because it is a very big danger for our faith. This faith that we have, whatever little faith that we have in this Krishna consciousness movement, this is the biggest treasure that we have. And so we should really value it and we should try to protect it in all ways possible. So we should not hear anything that is coming from unauthorized sources or even read any books. Okay, we should be very, very careful. And for our children also, we should not have that kind of exposure for them because that influence, once it comes, it's very difficult to get rid of that. So here we are seeing that Gadadhar Pandit is praying to the Lord that, okay, I cannot avoid hearing this, but oh Lord, please protect me in this danger. And he knows that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is seated in everyone's heart. So he will understand in what circumstances I had to hear Vallabh Bhatta's explanations. So he would not be angry. He's confident of that. But then the Vaishnavas, the other devotees who are always with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they might not understand and they might get angry. They might accuse him of having compromised with Vallabh Bhatt, despite his being neglected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gadadhar Pandit is very seriously thinking in this way. He was definitely not in fault and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees, but would show affectionate anger toward him. That's also not that grave kind of anger, but they may show some affectionate anger that why were you hearing from Vallabh Bhatta when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had ignored him. Okay. And Vallabh Bhatta. Yes,
Mataji,
Mataji.
was he a Mayavadi, this Vallabh Bhatta?
No,
Was a
Mataji, he
Mayavadi?
was not. No, he was not a Mayavadi, Mataji, but there were some differences in his understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll read what he does in the coming
Yeah.
section.
Okay.
What
Okay.
was the
Thank you,
problem?
Mataji.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mataji. So Vallabh Bhatta, not only this, Vallabh Bhatta would also come to the place of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he would engage in unnecessary arguments with Advaita Acharya and other great personalities like Swarup Damodar Goswami. Okay. Now let's read what happens further. 101 to 105. Padma Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yai kichu kare bhatta siddhanta sthapana sunaiti acharya tatha karena khandana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whatever conclusions Vallabha Bhatta eagerly presented, whatever conclusions Vallabha Bhatta eagerly represented were refuted by personalities like Advaita Acharya. Text 102. Acharyadi aage bhatta ye me yaya Raja hamsa madhye yena rahe bhatta praya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Vallabha Bhatta entered the society of devotees headed by Advaita Acharya, he was like a duck in a society of white swans. Text 103. Ekadina Bhatta Puchila एक दिन भट्ट पूछिला आचार्येरा जीव प्रकृति पाति करी मानये कृष्णेरा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One day Vallabha Bhatta said to Advaita Acharya, every living entity is female, Prakriti, and considers Krishna her husband, Pati. 104. Pativrata hana patira nama hani laya tomara Krishna nama laha kona dharma haya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's the duty of a chaste wife devoted to her husband not to utter her husband's name. But all of you chant the name of Krishna. How can this be called a religious principle? Text 105. Acharya kahe आगे तुम्हारा धर्म मूर्तिमान इन्हार पूछा इना करीबे न इहारा समाधान. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Advaita Acharya responded, in front of you is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the personification of religious principles. You should ask him, for he will give you the proper answer.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So the arguments that he would bring up, they were refuted by great personalities like Advaita Acharya. And it is mentioned that all the devotees were like Rajahamsas, white swans. And in that assembly, Vallabha Bhatta was like a baka. He was like a duck. Okay, so he was really, that is the contrast that is being brought about between all the other devotees and Vallabha Bhatta. And one day, he brings up this strange, strange theory or strange argument that every living entity is actually Prakriti, female, so like the wife, and Krishna is the Pati. So every living entity is the Patni, and the Lord is like the Pati, and every chaste wife should not take the name of her husband, should not utter the husband's name. But all of you are chanting the names of Krishna. So how can this be called a religious principle? So see, we can see his level of knowledge. He knows scriptures. He's not, refuting the supremacy of the Supreme Lord, but he's bringing about strange kind of arguments. So he's saying that how can a living entity who's like the Patni of the Lord take the name of the Lord, because any chaste wife should not utter the husband's name. And he puts up this argument to Advaita Acharya, but Advaita Acharya redirects it to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he says that the personification of all religious principles is standing in front of you. So you should ask him. He will give you the proper answer. Okay. And now let's read what wonderful answer Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives. Okay. Okay. Karpagavali Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. 106, text 106. Suni Prabhu kahina, tumi na jana dharma mara, Swami Agna Bale, Ei Pati Vrada Dharma. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. Hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear Vallabha Bhatta, you do not know religious principles. Actually, the first duty of a chaste woman is to carry out the order of her husband. Text 107. Patiragna Nirandara Tantra Nama Laite Patiragna Padi Pradana Parel Langiti. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. The order of Krishna is to chant his name incessantly. Therefore, one who is chaste and adherent to the husband Krishna must chant the Lord's name, for she cannot deny the husband's order. Text 108. Ateva namalaya name repa palapaya name repa li Krishna pade prema upajaya. Translation by Prabhupada. Following this religious principle, no devotee of Lord Krishna always chants the holy name. As a result of this, he gets the fruit of ecstatic love for Krishna. Text 109. Suniye Vallabha Bhatta Ila Nirva Chanam Gari Yamani Duke Karina Chintana. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. Hearing this, Vallabha Bhatta was speechless. He returned home greatly unhappy and began to consider thus. Text 110:11. Nitya amaraye sabaya haya akshapada ekadina uparayadi haya morabat tabe sukahaya ara sabila jayaya sabe vachana stapati ami kirikari upaya. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. Every day I am defeated in this assembly. If by chance I am one day be victorious, that will be the great source of happiness for me, and all my shame will go away. But what means shall I adopt to establish my statement? Shall I continue? Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, we'll understand till here and then we'll move.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So we see the argument that is put forward by Vallabh Bhatta. If someone comes and puts this argument in front of us, then we may also, for a moment stop to think that, yeah, what he's saying is actually making sense. And this is what happens, misinterpreters, they will take things from here and there from the scripture and then put forward arguments. And when our understanding of the scriptures is not 100% thorough, we may get confused and then start doubting our knowledge. That is why the importance of hearing from authorized sources only. Now, Mahaprabhu so beautifully, refutes that argument and so beautifully answers the question that he says that the first duty of a chaste woman is to carry out the order of the husband. And the Lord has actually Krishna has asked everyone to chant his name incessantly. Satatam Kirtayanto Mam in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has said that all the time we have to chant his names. Therefore, one who is chaste and adherent to the husband must chant the Lord's name, for she cannot deny the husband's order. Okay? So this is it, what seems like a very great, and meaningful argument, Lord Chaitanya completely diffuses it so wonderfully that, okay, you're talking about chastity. The first duty is to follow the orders of the Lord. And the Lord has asked us to chant. And that is why, following the religious principles, a pure devotee of Lord Krishna always chants the holy name. As a result of this, he gets the fruit of ecstatic love for Krishna. Now, obviously, hearing this reply, Vallabh Bhatt is speechless. So he goes home, he's very unhappy, and he begins to think about it. And we see his anxiety in verses 110 and 111, where he feels defeated in the assembly. And he's thinking, I just need one chance to get victorious. Once, if I get victory, then that will be a great source of happiness for me, because again and again he's getting humiliated. But he really wants that shame to go away. And so he's just waiting for one chance that where, he can prove himself right. But he's thinking that, oh, what means shall I adopt to establish my statements? He's thinking like that. So now let's see what he does next. Lalita Vinodini Mataji, Hare Krishna.
आराधना शिवशिला प्रभु रे नमस्कारी सभाते कही ना किचो माने गर्व करी. Translation by Divine Krishna Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The next day when he came to the assembly of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he sat down after offering obeisances to the Lord and said something with great pride. Text 113. Bhagavate Swamira Vyakhyana Kairachi Khandana Lahite na paritara vyakhyana vachana. Translation by Divine Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In my commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, he said, I have refuted the explanations of Sridhara Swami. I cannot accept his explanation. Text 114. Sei vyakhya kare na yaha yehi pade ami yehi pade ani eka vakhyata nahi tate Swami nahi mani. Translation by Divine Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whatever Sridhara Swami reads, he explains according to the circumstances. Therefore, he is inconsistent in his explanations and cannot be accepted as an authority. Text 115. Prabhu hasi kahe Swami namani yehi jana Beshyara bitare tare kariye guna Ganana. Hare Krishna. Translation by Divine Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smilingly replied, "One who does not accept the Swami, that is husband, as an authority, I consider a prostitute." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, do we know who is Sridhar Swami? Who was Sridhar Swami? Very
He is
important
the
person.
Acharya, is the Acharya of Kumar Sampradaya.
That's
No,
Vishnu
not
Swami.
Mataji.
That's
Sorry,
Vishnu
sorry.
Swami. Sridhar Swami, does anyone know who is Sridhar Swami?
Mataji, is it the one who protected the dog? And while they were going to
No, Mataji, that was Shiv. No. Sridhar Swami is actually the original commentator on the script on Bhagavatam. And Bhagavad Gita also. In fact, devotees say that the different chapters that are named in Bhagavad Gita, that is also coming from Sridhar Swami's commentary. So Prabhupada also quotes Sridhar Swami many times. So Sridhar Swami is a very respected Acharya. He is the original commentator on the Bhagavatam. And so we now see what Vallabhata is doing. He comes to Mahaprabhu's assembly and he sits down after offering obeisances and he has great pride. And what he says is that I have refuted the explanations of Sridhar Swami in my commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam. I cannot accept his explanations. Now he is, we can see his pride is building up so much. And now, it's like it's reached the pinnacle where he's saying that he's refuting the explanation of the original commentator of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Sridhar Swami is very, very respected Acharya. His commentary is accepted by all Acharyas, and Vallabhata is refuting that. So he says that what Sridhar Swami, whatever explanation he has given, is according to circumstances, and therefore it is inconsistent. There is inconsistency in his explanations and cannot be accepted as an authority. And at this point, Mahaprabhu, it's like he's just had it. So he completely chastises. He says that someone who does not accept Sridhar Swami, he is like a prostitute. Someone who does not accept the Swami, the husband, is like a prostitute. Someone who's not accepting Sridhar Swami, for me, he's like a prostitute. So it's a very, very strong statement, very strong chastisement of Vallabhata from Mahaprabhu's side. So now let's see what happens. Sumati Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Text 116, no Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, 116 to 102.
116. लेता काहे महाप्रभु मौन धारिला शुनिया सभारा मन तोषा हाइला. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very grave. All the devotees present derived great satisfaction from hearing this statement. Text 117. Jagatera hita lagi gaura avatara antarera abhimana janena tahara. Translation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended as an incarnation for the benefit of the entire world. Thus, he knew the mind of Vallabha Bhatta very well. 118. Nana avajnane bhatte shodena bhagavan Krishna yache khandilena indrera abhimana. Translation. By various hints and refutations, Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, corrected Vallabha Bhatta exactly as Krishna had cut down the false pride of Indra. Shall I read the purport, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please read.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Indra, the king of heaven, was very proud of his position. Therefore, when the residents of Vrindavan decided not to perform the Indra Yajna, but instead to perform the Govardhana Yajna in accordance with the instructions of Krishna, Indra, because of his false pride, wanted to chastise the residents of Vrindavana. Thinking himself extremely powerful, Indra poured incessant rain upon Vrindavana. But Lord Krishna immediately cut down his pride by lifting Govardhana hill as an umbrella to save the residents of Vrindavan. In this way, Krishna proved Indra's power most insignificant in the presence of his own omnipotence. Text 119. आज्ञा जीवनि जाहिते अहितकारी माने गर्वा चूर्णा हाइले पाचे उघाड़े नयन. Translation. An ignorant living being does not recognize his actual profit. Because of ignorance and material pride, he sometimes considers profit a loss. But when his pride is cut down, he can actually see his true benefit. Text 120. घरे फासी रात्रे भट्टा चिंतिते लागिला पूर्वे प्रयागे कृपा काइला. Translation. Returning home that night, Vallabha Bhatta taught, previously at Prayaga, Lord Chaitanya was very kind to me. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So, hearing the very strong words of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and after saying that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes very grave, and all the devotees are deriving great satisfaction because they were also feeling right, what Vallabha Bhatta is saying was wrong, and when he was corrected, so they felt great satisfaction from after hearing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's statement. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to deliver everyone, and for that he has to curb the pride of, of the people who are proud. So thus he knew the mind of Vallabha Bhatta very well, and he has, by various hints and refutations, he had corrected Vallabha Bhatta exactly as Krishna cut the pride of Indra. So at that time, at the time of the Govardhan Leela, we know that how Indra was very proud. He was the king of the Devtas, king of heaven. He was very proud of his position. And therefore, when the residents of Vrindavan, they took all the, offerings for performing Govardhan Yagya instead of Indra Puja, his pride was hurt, and he tried to drown the whole of Braj Dham with the torrential downpour because he was thinking himself to be extremely powerful. So he poured incessant rain upon Vrindavan. But how Krishna curbed his pride by lifting Govardhan hill as an umbrella to save the residents of Vrindavan. And it is said that with all that downpour, also with that storm, that rain, not even a single leaf of any tree of Govardhan fell down. So this really, hit Indra's pride, and then Krishna, he in this way Krishna proved Indra's power most insignificant in the presence of his omnipotence. So in this way, Indra's pride was cut down, and now we see that Vallabha Bhatta's pride is also cut down. But the problem is that when one is proud, then they think that their well-wishers are actually their enemies. They're not able to understand that if someone is correcting them, then that person is actually their well-wisher. But when the pride is cut down, then one can see what is actually what is actually his true benefit, where the actual benefit is. And then Vallabha Bhatta, when he comes home, he's thinking that I have met Mahaprabhu at Prayag, and that time he was very kind to me. So he's thinking, what change has happened since then? Now let's move forward. Krishnamurti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Pranams Mataji. I'm requesting Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
My missus, she used to attend the Kannada Chaitanya Charitamrita class.
Okay.
She used to recite this verse. Will you permit, Mataji?
Yes, sure, Prabhu, please.
Please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Pranam Mataji.
Pranam Mataji. ಮನಿಲನಿ ನಿಮಂತ್ರಣ ಏಬೇಕೇನೆ ಪ್ರಭುರ ಮೋತೆ ಪಿರಿಗೆಲ ಮನ.
Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. He accepted my invitation with his other devotees, and he was kind to me. Why has he now changed so much here at Jagannath Puri? Text 122.
Mataji, 119, no? She stopped at 118.
No, Mataji, 122, shall I read?
120 she had stopped, Mataji. So we are reading from 121.
Okay.
Okay. Mataji, shall she recite 122?
Yes, Prabhu, 122.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी आम्ही जिथे ही गर्भ शून्य आऊ हिमहारा सीता ईश्वर स्वभाव करेना सभा कराहिता
Translation by C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Being very proud of my learning, I am thinking, let me become victorious. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, is trying to purify me by nullifying this false pride. For a characteristic of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is that he acts for everyone's welfare. Okay.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी आपण जनैते आम्ही करी अभिमाना से गर्व कंडैते मोरा करे ना अपमाना
Translation by C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. I am falsely proud, advertising myself as a learned scholar. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu insults me just to favor me by cutting down his false pride. Text 24. 124.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी आम्हारा हित करेना इहो आम्ही मानी दुःख कृष्णे राहू पारे कैला येना इंद्र महामूर्खा
Translation by C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. He is actually acting for my benefit. Although I interrupt his actions as insults, this is exactly like the incident in which Lord Krishna cut down Indra. He, the great prophet of fool, to correct him. Text 125.
येतसिंति प्रेते आसि प्रभुर करेना
Charane.
करणे प्रभुर करणे चरणे धन्य करी स्तुति करी लाईला शरणे
Translation by C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Thinking in this way, Vallabha Bhatta approached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the next morning and in great humility, offering many prayers, he sought shelter and surrendered at the lotus feet of the Lord. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. What is Mataji's name?
Padmavati.
Padmavati. Thank you so much, Mataji. So beautifully you recited. Very well. We need to learn from Mataji so nicely. Such a very nice flow you have, Mataji. Hari bol. Thank you
She
so much.
can't understand English, Mataji. That's why she is not attending the classes. She is no Kannada. I am.
Wonderful, Mataji. So beautiful. Thank you. Hari bol.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We had read 120, right? Did we miss 120?
We had read Mataji.
And we are right from 121. We have. I have recited from 121.
120. Yes, Prabhu. So now, finally, Vallabh Bhatta is getting, the correct understanding. He's thinking that earlier Mahaprabhu had accepted my invitation with his other devotees. He was so kind to me. Now, what has changed so much in Jagannath Puri? And he gets the correct understanding that I'm proud of my learning. And I was thinking that I want to become victorious. But Mahaprabhu is trying to purify me. He's trying to remove my false pride. And this is the characteristic of the Supreme Lord because he acts for everyone's welfare. Now, if someone, till the time they remain in pride, they will not accept the things which are correct, right? We know from our practical example also in our families, in our friends, to the people who are proud, we cannot make them understand the right things also. So, but then they are harming themselves only, right? And the Lord, He is the friend of everyone, the well-wisher, the supreme well-wisher of everyone. And that is why, because He sees that Vallabhatta has pride, so He has cut down that pride, and Vallabhatta is able to understand that now. And He's saying that I was falsely advertising myself as a learned scholar because of my pride, because of my false pride. Therefore, the Lord has insulted me, and this is a favor of the Lord because He's cutting my false pride. So He's getting the correct understanding. So we also have to understand that if sometime we get correction or chastisement from our seniors, it is for our own good. And He's saying that this is for my own benefit, although I interpret His actions as insults. And He also relates it to the incident of Indra, just like Indra's pride was cut down, so I was also corrected. My pride was also cut down. And he gets the correct understanding. And the next morning, he goes to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. With great humility, he offers prayers to the Lord and he seeks shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. Now he completely surrenders to the Lord. Okay. Yeah. Padma Mataji, 5 verses till 130. Then we'll stop for today.
Mataji, which one is it? 125?
126, Mataji. 126
Okay.
to 130.
Yeah, okay. Ami yagna jiva ajnachita karma kailam tomara agi murkami panditya prakashilam. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Vallabha Bhatta admitted, I'm a great fool, and indeed I have acted like a fool by trying to demonstrate my learnings to you. 127. Tumi Ishvara Nijo Chitta Kripa Ye Karila Apamana Kari Sarva Garva Kandaila. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You have showed mercy to me in a way just befitting your position by insulting me to cut down all my false pride. 128. Ami yagna hita stane mani apamane indrayena krishnera ninda karila ajnane. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. I'm an ignorant fool, for I interpret as an insult what I meant for you, what is meant for my benefit. In this way, I'm just like King Indra, who out of ignorance tried to surpass Krishna, the Supreme Lord. 129. Tomara kripa ajnane ebe garva andhya gela tumi eta kripa kaila ebe jnana haila. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, you have cured the blindness of my false pride by smearing my eyes with the ointment of your mercy. You have bestowed so much mercy upon me that my ignorance is now gone. 130. Aparadha kainu shama lainu sharana kripa kari mora mate dharaha charana. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, I have committed offenses. Please excuse me. I seek shelter of you. Please be merciful unto me by placing your lotus feet on my head. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. So he approaches Lord Chaitanya, and he, in great humility, he offers prayer, surrenders to the Lord, and he admits that I have acted like a fool. I was trying to demonstrate my learning to you, my Lord. So that is very foolish of me, he says. And he says that you are the Supreme Lord. You have shown your mercy by insulting me, and in this way you have cut down my false pride. So he says that being an ignorant fool, I was thinking that your words were actually an insult, but they were really for my benefit. So in this way, I am just like King Indra, who out of ignorance tried to surpass Krishna, the Supreme Lord. And he says that now my blindness has been cured. The blindness of false pride, which was smearing my eyes, the blindness of false pride which I had in my eyes is now removed by smearing of the ointment of your mercy. So by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, that blindness of false pride has been removed, and you have bestowed such mercy that my ignorance is now gone. And then he completely takes shelter of Lord Chaitanya, and he begs forgiveness for his offenses, and he really praised Lord Chaitanya to get the shelter of his lotus feet on his head. Okay, so at 1:30 we'll stop for today. If there are any questions or comments. No? Okay, then we'll stop here today, hearing about the merciful nature of Lord Chaitanya, and we'll continue next week. Thank you all so much for joining. Happy Janmashtami, happy Prabhupada appearance day to all of you. Yes, Mataji.
Hare
The same to you, Mataji.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refuted his words, but how can he got that realization to take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Because he understands why the Lord was doing what he was doing. So he understands that the Lord was being so merciful upon me. He was trying to remove my false pride. And that's why he wants to take shelter of the Lord, because he had committed an offense. So begging forgiveness plus understanding how the Lord is his well-wisher. So that's why he now wants to take shelter of the Lord. Okay, Mataji?
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll stop here. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva patitanam
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय।
की जय, श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय,
कविराज गोस्वामी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री
जय
गुरु महाराज जी
जय श्री
की जय।
हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम।
माता जी
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
जन्माष्टमी
शो माता जी,
हैप्पी
हैप्पी
जन्माष्टमी।
जन्माष्टमी।
to everybody.
हैप्पी जन्माष्टमी to everyone. हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा।